what a week it has been. Rainy weather, flood warnings, shopping for deals, and now here we are at the last Friday of November, just a stone's throw away from December. All I can say is we've made it to the end of another month, and we're looking forward to unexpected blessings in the next. Today also marks the end of Youth Month and Eat Jamaican Month, but it's certainly not the end of celebrating our youngsters and eating locally. Later in the show, we'll hear from one of our presenters who will share compelling reasons why we should all eat what we grow and embrace the essence of local eating. We have a great lineup for you in this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams. We'll be right back after the news.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, November 29, 2024. The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, is projecting the economy to stabilize in the first quarter of next year after various weather events contributed heavily to a contraction in performance this year. For the July to September quarter of this year, economic activities declined by 2.8%, mostly due to Hurricane Beryl.
Other factors impacting performance included weakened demand, which resulted in the curtailment of economic activities. This was reflected in a downturn in business confidence and the release of a second Level 3 travel advisory by the U.S. State Department in July 2024. The first was in January 2024.
The PIOJ's Director General says Tropical Storm Raphael further impacted economic activities, and a negative 1.5 to 0% outturn is now projected for the October to December quarter, with the full calendar year expected to be in the range of negative 1% to 0%.
This projection is further supported by preliminary data received for October 2024, which indicate a downturn in the hotels and restaurants industry. Provisional data reflect a decline of 1.1% in airport arrivals to 194,830 visitors. However, the mining and quarrying industry is anticipated to record a positive performance during October to December 2024.
Meanwhile, the PIOJ is projecting that the agriculture industry will return to growth in the first half of fiscal year 2025-2026. This follows a 13.5% decline in the July to September 2024 quarter due to the impact of Hurricane Beryl and other weather events, which will linger into December.
Lower production was recorded for 8 of the 9 crop groups, with the largest declines recorded for cereals, down 33.4%, condiments down 21.8%, vegetables down 17.3%, and fruits down 16.6%. Additionally, lower output was recorded for traditional export crops, which decreased by 15%, largely reflecting contractions in the production of banana, down 18.7%, coffee, down 70.4%, and cocoa down 74.2%.
Dr. Wayne Henry says the recovery process will take 3 to 6 months. The Ministry of Agriculture had estimated losses to the sector at $6.5 billion, affecting approximately 45,000 farmers across the southern parishes. Meanwhile, the overall cost of damage and loss associated with the passage of Hurricane Beryl was estimated at $32.2 billion by the PIOJ. Of that figure, infrastructure accounts for 50% of the losses, totaling $15.9 billion. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, says Jamaica continues to leverage public-private partnerships to achieve the country's sustainable development goals. Minister Hill says to date, Jamaica has successfully completed 7 public-private partnership transactions. These include the Norman Manley and Sangster International Airports, Kingston Container Terminal, North-South Highway, and Highway 2000. The Rio Cobre Water Treatment Plant and the Solar Energy and Efficiency Project in schools are in progress. According to Senator Hill, these partnerships demonstrate the strength of the country's institutions and reflects its commitment to inclusive growth.
When we leverage PPPs, we are fostering infrastructure development, creating opportunities for our youth, and contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, ensuring that economic prosperity goes hand in hand with social empowerment and global competitiveness.
Senator Hill also highlights that the government's public-private partnership program is currently ranked 6th out of 29 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean based on Infoscope rankings. He was speaking at the 2024 UN Jamaica Partnership Forum in Kingston on Tuesday. UN Resident Coordinator Dennis Zulu says the private sector acts as a partner in development when it aligns its activities and investments with the country's development priorities and focuses on long-term value creation.
This can mean investing in projects that enhance the social, economic, and environmental fabric of communities. By looking beyond immediate short-term gains and prioritizing sustainable development, businesses help build a prosperous future for both it and the country at large.
74 capital projects are currently underway between the National Water Commission, NWC, and the Rural Water Supply Limited across the country. Speaking earlier this week at the post-cabinet press briefing, Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, said the projects would result in improved supply to over 400,000 persons over the next 12 to 18 months. He added that this did not include the Caribbean Development Bank-funded projects, which would see the single largest investment in rural water supply in Jamaica coming in the first quarter of next year.
But all of that aside, all of the investment that is required to realize our national ambition for water supply has to be underpinned that while realizing this ambition, our citizens must have access to potable water where it is already possible and must have the dignity and ability to pay their bills.
The reiteration of the water projects follows the announcement of an NWC amnesty to help Jamaicans with little to no means to settle their debts with the Commission. And finally, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is reporting that a total of 1,756 new government positions have been created. These include 1,105 posts to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, 452 created for the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, and 199 posts in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams gave the update at the post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday.
This will increase the levels of job security and access to certain employees in terms of benefits, health and pension, which will boost the morale and reduce the likelihood of staff upheaval.
Minister Williams also highlighted that during her tenure at the Ministry of Education and Youth, 4,720 permanent posts were established for educational institutions.
The total of 4,720 represents individuals who would have been working in the school system for decades, but they were working temporarily and would not have been appointed to a permanent post until the cabinet decision that addressed that matter. So I'm pleased that we continue to work to positively impact the lives of Jamaicans.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
You know the adage, water is life? Rightly stated, as it supports all living beings. But with the passing of a hurricane, supply may be compromised and properly stored water could just become our lifeline. Step 1. It is best to use food-grade containers to store water. This means that the material used is fit for human consumption and won't have toxic substances entering your water. Step 2. Be sure to wash and rinse the container thoroughly in preparation for water storage. Step 3. After filling the container, be sure to seal it tightly. If it has a screw-on cap, ensure it's tightly closed. This will prevent contamination. Step 4. Also, to prevent contamination, store water in a cool, dark place. This is to minimize exposure to temperature fluctuations, which can degrade the quality of the water and the container. Step 5. Replace stored water frequently to ensure freshness. You may use older water for non-drinking purposes. Step 6. Additionally, you may want to label the containers with the date of storage. This will help you keep track of how long the water has been stored. Step 7. Drinking water containing bacteria and viruses can lead to serious health issues and diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, or dysentery. If you're in doubt as to the state of your drinking water, you may want to apply water purification methods such as boiling to get rid of any bacteria. Step 8. Finally, going back to point number 1, do not store water in containers that have been used for chemicals or substances that can leach into the water and your system. Ensure that your stored water remains safe and drinkable. Protect your water, and it will protect you.
Thank you for staying with us. It's been an amazing year so far, though we've also faced some calamities that even impacted our schools. So, in our next feature, we'll highlight how one institution's strategic alliances have opened doors for continuous learning.
In the wake of Hurricane Beryl, uncertainty loomed over many schools across Jamaica and their ability to reopen for the academic year. Yet through concerted efforts and funding from the Ministry of Education,
we pulled out all the stops so that our schools would be ready for the start of the new school year.
with the support of various stakeholders, institutions like Newell High School have undergone significant repairs, ensuring that learning can continue. With an enrollment of over 850 students, Newell has proudly served as a beacon of academic excellence for more than 50 years. However, the recent hurricane inflicted considerable damage on classrooms, the agricultural farm, and other vital facilities. But despite these challenges, the resilience of the school community shines brightly.
So when we were assessing the damage, our number one priority was trying to see where the critical classrooms were, areas that needed immediate repairs, and what other substitute we could put in place to find classroom space for our students. And so we have been able to identify classes, all not the best ideal situation, but we would have worked and reworked and repurposed some of the spaces so that we can have school for our children and have those spaces comfortable.
One source of support for Newell High came from the Donnie McClurkin Foundation, an international organization that has previously helped schools in Jamaica.
Well, we found out about Newell High School because of the hurricane damage that happened. And this was a central location for us to be able to come and to offer some disaster relief. We had a disaster relief concert in New York to help facilitate all of this with the repairing of some of the things, the replacement of agriculture from the plants to the chicks to the seed.
The support also involved the distribution of essential items such as clothing, non-perishable food, and book bags, all aimed at making a long-lasting impact on the community.
Many were traumatized by the event, so we ensured that they were prepared and given support in that area. We would have also brought in several key personnel just to reassure them and to give them that support needed to ensure that school academically we would have prepared our teachers, have our professional development, have our meetings, strategize, as to how best we could deal with our children coming back. And I believe that we are in a good position.
As learning continues, Newell High School has formed strategic alliances to address educational needs.
One of the things that we would have done this year is that we would have recognized that the reading levels of our children coming in, especially, given the performance of students across Jamaica in math and English, and we'd have put in partnership with St. Michael's Theological College, a 7th grade academy, where we placing special emphasis on developing the literacy and numeracy of our children in order for them to do well on external exams.
Looking ahead, Vice Principal Bennett is optimistic about restoring the regular flow of school activities.
And so we are really hoping that going from here, we'll begin to have some resemblance of normalcy, and that we'll get Jamaica back on track, united in the purpose of one nation under God.
As the school community rallies together, the hope is not only to recover, but to emerge stronger, continuing Newell High School's legacy of excellence in education for years to come.
Here's a math question. A fruit basket contains 3 apples, 4 bananas, and 2 oranges. How many fruits are in the basket altogether? The answer is 9. Using simple examples like this makes math both fun and easy to learn. Up next, we'll explore how parents can incorporate everyday activities into teaching math to their children.
What is it, my daughter?
I can't do that maths here.
All right. Let me take a look at it now.
Math can seem daunting, but there are a few things you can do to support your child at home. One area to look at is games. We all play games on a regular basis, especially children. And how much fun would it be to tie mathematics into the games they play?
There's a very interesting notion that is put forward. And that notion is the fact that the things that we are interested in are the same things that we seem to do well in. Now, if it is that around our interest there's also a heightened level of performance, or we seem to learn things much faster when we are in tune, it therefore becomes important for us to actually put emphasis on making mathematics an interest. Because once we begin to allow our students or our children to see the fun in math and begin to develop a level of interest, it is at that point in time you will find that they may learn the concepts much faster.
Arithmetic helps us in keeping track of time, conducting business, and making plans.
In reinforcing the math from home, we have to do a few things. One, you could, while cooking or baking, allow your child to come forward and to share the math concepts that they were exposed to in school. I'm sure while you're cooking something, your child can apply some measurement skills, some conversions, some looking at the beakers and so on. Additionally, we know that at times we do some amount of sorting and organizing. There's always a shelf somewhere to be packed, a cabinet to be reorganized, some things to be moved around. This is an opportunity to allow your child to use their spatial awareness, to be able to look at shapes.
Do you want to know what I do?
I find creative ways to incorporate the knowledge to them, because maths is not an easy subject. And most children will tell you, maths hard, but this is something that they need in their everyday life. So I find creative ways to put it to them in fun ways that we both can enjoy doing it together.
Some of the concepts that I believe that parents could pay a keen attention to is the number concept, like the simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
You have to know at least the basics. I mean, we're not going to tell them about the algebras and the other areas which is a little bit challenging to them, right. But at least know to make change, know how to know the difference between distance and time and things like those. I'll try to encourage all fathers at least to know the basic about the concept of maths. for the primary student, you use whatever they like.
Okay.
If they like food, they use food. Divide up the pizza. Show them what to divide it. If they like money, they're the children who love playing with money and love counting money. Use the money.
Look at your child textbook. You'd see the topics based on the child age group, all the topics that they'll go through throughout the entire year. And you can also consult with the teacher and find out what topic am I looking at now, so that you can use all the online resources.
We have to find out what is the root of the problem first. Is it that you're not understanding, or you're not grasping as much as you're being taught? Then that much we need to identify what are the weak areas, what are the problems. Once we can identify what is the problem, then we can actually try and fix it from there.
So we're not supposed to be thinking with our fixed mindset that there's only one way, so the teacher is doing it wrong. We could be doing it wrong, we might never know. So we'll have to be open to the fact that we're not the only person with an opinion, or this is not the only way of solving that one problem.
Parents, I want to encourage you today. When it is that your child comes home with the math book and you realize that the approach that is being taken to deliver the content is not the same way you are used to it, don't throw it aside and say, no, that's wrong, or that is harder, that's different. You need to embrace the approach.
There is many ways to help.
Right.
You don't have to help physically, but being there to sit down and to encourage the child, talk with them, or even while they're doing it, you look over and say, yes man, okay, try it this way. I mean, that is support.
Support your child and give them the push they need. In math, practice makes perfect.
Practicing good oral health is essential in maintaining fresh breath and a healthy smile. Always remember to brush twice daily for 2 minutes with fluoride toothpaste to strengthen tooth enamel and help fight gum disease. Always brush in a circular motion using a soft toothbrush. Floss once daily to remove food particles between the teeth and the gum line. Use a mouthwash to clean areas of the mouth a toothbrush or floss can't reach. Change your toothbrush every 3 to 4 months. Visit your dentist every 6 months for checkups and cleaning. And be sure to drink water to keep gum disease, plaque, and cavities at bay. Remember, good oral health is key to a healthy mouth.
And now, a message from the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton.
As a country, we are indeed, if we never knew, a part of a global community. And there is a merging of cultures, in a sense, where we have lost or are losing our individual identities because we are now part of this larger community. And I think that also came out of the COVID experience, where we couldn't solve our own problems without interfacing with others. But the NCD pandemic that we face, which is a far bigger pandemic, it tells us that we accept a lot more readily what traditionally has been alien to our culture, and almost accept it more readily than traditionally what we're accustomed to, because we view it, perception-wise, as a more superior form of life, living, and enjoyment. We can't go out there and tell people, look at the salt, sugars, fats, and decide your mind in your own interest. That's part of the narrative. But we're going to have to do a lot more than that. We're going to have to help people to explain quality of life. We're going to have to help them explain satisfaction that can be derived from those scientific data. The other very important message around this culture and merging of culture is the extent to which we have to appeal to particular stakeholders who oftentimes, to my mind, in this country anyway, do not sufficiently have an appreciation between the links around consumption and the impact it has on the population. Oftentimes, their population who are their consumers, or their mothers, or their fathers, or their brothers, or sisters, or children. I believe that our mercantile class, who again clearly has their mission, there is sufficient insensitivity, I believe, and too much of it, to what we produce for the consuming public, our consumers, our workers, our family members, our community, because we're all merged as one, and the links between that objective and what the long-term impact is on the population and on those very same people.
Eat what we grow, grow what we eat. The JIS took the streets of Kingston, and we're here right at Devon House to learn why it is important for us to eat what we grow.
It is important for Jamaicans to grow what they eat because Jamaica produces the best food in the world.
We don't want to be importing the stuff that we are eating. We should be able to feed ourselves. So that is why we have a campaign as such. Grow what you eat what you grow.
It's your food, it's cost effective as well, and you just enjoy your hands work.
You also should eat Jamaican because, quite frankly, it is the healthier option. Anything that is imported normally has to go through a period of preservation to ensure that they come here and we can consume them. When you get your Jamaican products, you get them fresh.
Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. Honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life.
We've reached the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.